Hello again, Michael Friedberg here from beautiful North Carolina, and I again have two new products to show you for review today. The first is, and unfortunately I cannot show you the full container because I only have a sample of it. It is the Mr. Charming soap from Grön Lycka, which is Swedish for green happiness. This is the Mr. Charming. It is a anise and black peppercorn and lavender scented soap. And it does have a very nice light licorice-like scent. So for me, for example, I grew up in Holland, and licorice was one of my favorite candies, something like muntendrop or honingdrop. It's kind of on the sweet licorice side, a very similar kind of scent to it. If you do not like the smell of licorice or the smell of star anise, then I don't think this soap will be for you. It is black. It does contain activated charcoal and kaolin. It does contain castor seed oil, some witch hazel, actually, some oat extract. A very, very nice list of sort of organic ingredients. Let me go ahead and just show you the container that it came in, because it was kindly sent to me by a person who apparently enjoys small animals and hats. That's hedgehogs and hats. This is the number 4 googly eye sample, and I'll show you what it looks like inside the container. You can see it has kind of a bit of a matte, dark color. Once it gets wet, it's got a nice shine to it. There is plenty in this sample container. I scooped out what I thought was a fair amount, but actually there's probably still 2/3 in that container, which is great news for me because I have really been enjoying this soap. Today's razor is going to be as has been described to me, a 1920s Gillette New Improved Tuckaway, made in America, potentially for the French market. So I will show you the handle, which is this short, rather stubby, a little bit heavy handle. Very cool pattern. This is the silver version. You can see there's a bit of fading at the top of the handle, a little more distinct patterning on the bottom. But, bear in mind this is getting up to 100 years old. There is some minor cracking in the handle. I think that's actually very common. The top cap just is a standard 3-post. You can see there's a bit of tea staining going on in there. The blade has been a Gillette Silver Blue, again, all week. And there you go. This will be shave number 6 on this blade. It's not going to make it for another week, by the way, and I'll explain to you while we're shaving why that is. Here's the base plate. A very nice, thick, heavy design. It is an open comb razor, so I'll put that on there. Yes, I will include the washer. For those of you that are wondering, this is a nylon washer. It is the M5 washer. It is 1 millimeter thick. Exterior diameter is 10 millimeters. Interior diameter for the central hole is 5 millimeters. I'll put those numbers into the show notes, and I'll just screw on the handle and just. Now I will say this razor has rather substantial overhang, so you really need to watch out for that. There are certain parts of my shave where that really does come into play. Let me just wet my face again, and we'll get the lather going. Today's brush is going to be the Semogue Owners Club boar. I'm going to start off with a relatively dry brush. It's been soaking for a little bit. Let me just shake it out. That should be plenty for today's shave. I'm going to start with the dry brush. You can hear a little bit airy, a little bit foamy. It's perfectly fine. I'm going to add some water in just a moment. Yeah, when you start to lather it up, you get a stronger sense of the peppercorn in the scent. The lavender comes out a little bit for me, but not nearly as strong as the star anise or the peppercorn scent. I'm going to add just a touch of water here. The soap is black. That may well be from the activated charcoal, and it does produce, or can produce, a slightly gray looking lather, but not to worry, that dissipates almost immediately. That may seem a bit off-putting at first, but don't let that bother you at all. Just keep building your lather, and it's going to be totally fine. All right, I'm going to keep loading, so I want to make sure I get a good heavy load. Today is the last day for this rotation, so there's really no reason not to. Yeah, you can see what's happening there. Starting to build up a very, very nice lather. Yeah, I went back to try to find this soap on the vendor's website, which I could not do, and apparently there's been some kind of issue with a collaboration gone wrong, and apparently these soaps are no longer being made by Grön Lycka. So she's moved on to another formula and to a different lineup of soaps and soap scents, and I'm very happy to report that she has offered to provide a sample of this second batch of soaps, or second formula. I'll be getting in a soap called Troll, which, how can you turn down a soap called Troll? All right, just wet my face again a little bit. Put just a touch of water onto the face of the brush and start to lather. Yeah, I'll certainly have to add a bit of water, but that is, as always, the case. But you can see that's already starting to build up a nice creamy layer. Right now it still feels a little bit airy and fluffy, but that's because I have not added enough water to this lather yet, but it's going to happen in just a moment. Then hopefully you too will be able to hear a difference. All right, let's add a touch of water. I'm just going to pull some of the lather off the bottom of the brush. You can see that's already how sort of sleek and glistening that is. That's a very good sign in my book. As you can see, that built up very quickly and with zero effort. There we go. That is, oh, that was close. Yeah, the smell is not overwhelming at all, but it's definitely distinct. Not too heavy, and a very nice mix of the star anise and the black peppercorn. If the lavender is in there, for me it's kind of like a dry undernote, but even if it wasn't in there, I don't know that it would much matter. Just the scent of the star anise and peppercorn. It's a very, very nice mix on its own. And as you can see, lather turns out white even though the soap itself is black. All right, the Gillette New Improved, way better Tuckaway. And I meant that sarcastically, by the way, because this razor, my friends, is the one that breaks the streak. I've had a set of amazing shaves, and week after week I've marveled at just how well it's gone. And then this Monday, that all came to a crashing halt. Soap, fantastic. The razor, on the other hand, at least in this with the grain, I will grant you in this first pass, not bad. You can definitely feel the blade. You know, there's a fair amount of blade exposure. The way that the blade sits in the head, you know, it definitely is a little bit flatter than more steeply curved. So a fair amount of blade feel while you're shaving. But shaves this week have not been good. Just that simple. 2 days of growth. Last shave was Friday morning. And as you can see, hair is definitely coming off. There's no issue with the efficiency of the razor. But right here is the first day, first shave, first nick. Touching the razor to my face, because of the angle of the blade, it just caught me right under the nose there. And that's a problem I used to have with the Razor Rock Jaws as well. So now you just gotta be careful. yeah, there are definitely people that love this razor, and I get it. It's a beautiful vintage razor. I do love the way it looks. The handle is a little short. It's heavy. Oh, that also went right in my mouth. As you can see, by the way, when you get the soap wet, there is a very nice layer of slickness. It's not overly heavy or dense, and the soap actually, and when you rinse, actually rinses clean quickly, which is pretty nice. I definitely go back and forth on whether or not easy rinsing is a positive or not, but I think it really just depends on the soap. Very nice slickness, wonderful face feel. It feels slick and protective without being overly heavy or dense. Yeah, scent strength still remains very good throughout. All right, now the across the grain. Here's where it begins to fall apart a little bit for me. For example, there, I don't want to complete that downstroke because I feel like it's just going to pull against the skin. Easier to shave in the opposite direction, still across the grain, just not like that, but just the opposite direction. Uncomfortable and just feels risky. I've had weepers every single shave. Just, you know, small dots. But again, you know, that's particular to this razor. And frankly, I think these shaves are being saved by the fact that the soap is as good as it is. I have no idea if I'm saying the name right, but I'm hoping it's pretty close. Grön Lycka. Sounds Swedish to me. And I have another tub of this, a full-size tub, which is a really large container. I think what was called the Grön Lycka old-fashioned shaving soap. Looking forward to trying that one too. Yeah, you know, this razor is definitely shaving off the hair, but man, just not for me. It's just rough and uncomfortable, and I've changed the angle. I'm right in the guard. I just don't like the way it feels on the face at all. Not a fan. Love the design, looks cool. No. As you can see, that's a little bit grayish. That's just the lather I've collected from inside the bowl. Time for the third and final pass, and I know it looks like sometimes in these shaves, it's not like in every shave I'm getting some kind of effortless magical BBS, because very often I am not. There's parts of the shave where I'm just leaving because I'm always going to choose for a close, comfortable shave over BBS with irritation. And I know that for some of you, BBS is the only shave that matters. But I think the downside of that is when you do that and you keep pushing it and you end up with irritation at every shave, then you're probably better off focusing on close, comfortable for a while, and then letting the BBS happen when it can. For me, if I get a BBS shave, it only lasts for so long because of course the hair is growing out immediately. So it's a temporary pleasure. It's satisfying, don't get me wrong. But 100% not the be all and end all of my shaves. All right, let me just rinse my hands. Oh, and then the worst part of the shave is going to be the against the growth, just not really pleasant at all. Yeah, see right in here, just a really on the edge of uncomfortable. Thank goodness for the soap, which is really making this a lot easier. Right there, And if they replaced the old type with this, this is not better than the old type. New and not so improved, I think should be the, the new name. Very light there, no pressure. And I've gotten some very close shaves out of this, but there's been a price to pay every day. Skin definitely feels a little hot and irritated. All right, we're gonna call it right there. Go and rinse. Yeah, post-shave skin feel with this soap, by the way, has been stellar. Really very nice, like a very light, thin layer of slickness, but my skin does not feel tight at all. It's a little bit hot, but that's really just sort of friction and pulling from the razor there. Wow, try to get some of that soap off. Advanced alternating single hand rinsing technique. All right, one more. There we go. Yeah, close, but man, just not comfortable. All right, let's go ahead and splash on the aftershave for this week. I've gone back to the Sudsy Soapery. This is the white sage and lime. Thought this would be a good mix with the stardust and the black peppercorn. It turned out to be a pretty good mix actually. Going to give it a good shake so it gets good and mixed up. Some of you may remember from a previous use of this that it made my eyes water. I've sort of countered that by keeping my eyes closed for that first part of the application and not using too much. It's been very hot here, and this has been a wonderful cooling start to the day. Yeah, I never thought I'd be so sensitive to menthol, but of course I actually use it in so few products. Oh man, that is just beautifully cooling though. And I love the scent. A bit of eye watering is not amiss. Ah, okay. That is very refreshing. I'm just crying tears of joy because of the eclipse coming up on Monday. By the way, if you're in the United States and you're going to be observing that here, just be aware of the fact that there are a significant number of not valid or sort of counterfeit glasses, so be really careful. You know, it's going to be one of those things where if it goes wrong, you are going to really affect your eyesight. All right. Let's review what we've used for today. Let me just show you again the soap for today. The Mr. Charming. Here's the sample from Grön Lycka, the Green Happiness, a Swedish artisan soap maker. I will show you what is left in the bowl. Wonderful scent on the soap. A very nice kind of licoricey scent to it with the peppercorn. There we go. Tears should be over by now. Beautiful scent on the soap. Wonderful mix of organic ingredients. I love the addition of the witch hazel. I don't mind the kaolin clay in there at all. It has a kind of a mix of a number of really nice ingredients. Post-shave skin feels really good. It's easy to lather. It smells great. Slick, protective. You can build a pretty good thick lather, but even if you went for something a little bit thinner, still very nice and slick and makes for a very, very good shave. And I'm really looking forward to trying out the next formula or formulation of her soaps. Very, very nice, and really quite happy got a chance to use that. Recommended, I must say. I would say if you want to continue to buy that product, pass on the current version because I think that's been moved over to some other person who's making it, and have it, go check out the Grön Lycka website and look for some of the new soap formulations there. Today's razor is the 1920s Gillette New Improved Tuckaway. Like I said at the beginning, handle design is very cool. It's short, a little bit heavy. It's a kind of a thicker, denser head, open comb. Not a great shave for me at all, frankly. This would absolutely not be my choice. Was using something like the New or the actual New or the Tech. There's just no comparison. This is just not close in terms of shave. This has been a close shave, but an uncomfortable shave. And I'd be bummed if that was my only razor. I'd have to make do with it, obviously. But I've had, some real issues during the week. Not my first choice, not my second choice, in fact. And then we closed it off. Whew. Strong for me in terms of menthol, but a very, very nice post-shave feel. Just really goes on well. Very nice and cooling. I love the scent of the white sage and lime. A very nice aftershave, alcohol and witch hazel based again from the Sudsy Soapery. Great stuff. Oh, well, let's not forget. Oh my God, I almost forgot. The brush, the Semogue Owners Club. This is the cherry. Beautiful boar brush, just beautiful. I know people have trouble breaking in their Semogues, but it turns out that 2-day soaking in cold water thing is working for a lot of people. So if you're struggling to break your brush in, try it. You have really nothing to lose. Okay, well, normally here's where I say, wow, that was a great shave. And that was a close shave with a fantastic soap that I really do like, with the razor that I didn't really quite enjoy. A little harsh, uncomfortable, not really the razor for me. Yes, in the end, a very effective shave, but not a comfortable one. So that, my friends, is the end of that streak. Doesn't matter, we'll just pick it up again next week and see if we can just start it all over again. Let me just say thank you once again so much for watching. I really appreciate the time you're taking to watch these. As always, please feel free to leave a comment or a question against this video or any of the previous ones, and I'll try to get back to that as quick as I can. Thank you again for watching, and until next time, goodbye.